50?
Yeah, this is episode 50.
50.
Dang.
Whoa. All right.
And I'm going to take random pictures throughout.
Welcome, everybody, to this episode of Runs0b3r podcast. This is episode number
50.
50. Here at Runs0b3r podcast, we don't only discuss running and sobriety, but all walks of life, because for every one of us has a unique story. The journey begins and ends with you. Today, our special guest across from me is Steven. Steven, is that correct? Or Steve?
Steve.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Griffen.
Correct.
Nice. Steve Griffen. Yep. Next to me,
Eric J. Henderson.
And I am Brandon K. Veltman. And today, Steve, I'll just a little bit of backstory about where you grew up. I know we were just talking about it a little bit, but let the audience know a little bit of, and then we'll go from there and we'll just talk about your journey.
Sure.
So yeah.
It all started in Houston, Texas.
Oh, snap. Houston, Texas.
Started in Houston, Texas. I was there with for about 3.5 years.
Is that where you were born?
That's where I was born.
Oh, nice. Yep.
And I was adopted. I had a sister, and I was adopted by a family not with the sister.
Oh, yeah.
So we were separated at the point of it was about it was when shortly after she was born. But then I was adopted. At that point, we moved from there about 1.5 years later to Oklahoma. Lived in Poto, Oklahoma for.
How do you spell that?
Podok.
Poto.
Oh,
Poteau.
Dang.
Nice.
Slip some Louisiana up in
Which is not far from Fort Smith,
Okay.
Arkansas, and then lived there until.
And when you lived, this is with the foster parents or what? What is
No,
this?
this was my adopted parents. I grew up with adopted parents, and then I had a sister that was born. They thought they weren't going to be able to have kids.
Okay.
That's why they adopted.
Nice.
Then they wanted to adopt an Indian Indian boy or girl.
Yeah.
And
when you say Indian, are we talking about Indian?
Native American. Indian.
Yeah. Okay.
But they had some Choctaw in them.
Yeah.
I was Redbud Sioux.
Nice.
My mother.
So you knew that from the beginning?
Full blood. No, I did not know. I did not know about my mother until way later in life.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
I knew I grew up with a mother. I mean, I had memories of that.
Yeah.
I had memories of what I thought was or must have been her boyfriend, which turns out that was my father.
Oh, hey, nice.
And so I have a full sister by the same mother and father.
Yeah.
That full sister was raised by our father, but he didn't tell her that she was his daughter.
Oh, wow.
She didn't know that until she was grown.
Oh, wow.
So then we did not meet until about 25 years ago.
So if you had like
25
short memories,
I was in my 40s when we met.
If you had short memories of them, did you always in the back of your head like, why did my original parents leave, or you didn't even know?
No,
you never knew them.
No, I mean I knew it was just I remember living in an apartment. I remember the tricycle I had when I was
I
remember when I was adopted, and apparently I cried for about 3 or 4 days straight.
Yeah,
I don't remember it was much more traumatic on my parents than it was. I mean, I'm sure the trauma was there, but it didn't stay with me.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's a later adoption. It's not like
I was
newborn.
like 3.5 years
you
old.
knew I'm leaving this place.
I was 3.5.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. When I was adopted. So I had lived with my mother who we were in an apartment, and she was in some sort of, she was in the healthcare of, like, she grew up. It was when she grew up, she was taken off the reservation and put in a boarding school, and she was taken away from her parents. So that's when the government was trying to destroy pretty much the culture of the.
I was about to say that's the classic story.
She did not have. She speaks perfect English. She doesn't have any accent.
Oh, nice.
Like the Indians on the reservation do, because she was well, it was Anglican folks that and she went to a trade school there, and so she left when she was in her teens with some sort of like a CNA or a medical tech degree at that, or certificate at that point. So that's how she landed working in doctor's offices or something like that. I don't know what she did, but that's how she met my father.
Yeah.
Was through that connection. And so.
And you said they're both bloodlines with a native tribe, or no?
No,
they're
only him. No, he was
only
he
him.
was East,
okay.
He, as far as I could tell, he was like East Texas redneck background.
Okay.
He was in sales, but he had no that I know of. I mean, and when I had a DNA test, because legally I'm half Redbud Sioux because my mother was full blood.
And do you have
genetically I'm about 33%.
No, I've never heard that red bud. And you say
Redbud Sioux.
Yeah.
Because there was Indians. There were the Sioux Indians that were in the Black Hills, is where they originally were. And just like almost every tribe, if you look, they get displaced to the crappy land somewhere. Well, this crappy land is at the south part on the border of Nebraska, the south part of South Dakota. Out it's in the plains. There's not, it's that's where the reservation is.
Do they have? So I know they always talk about the tribal cards, and a lot of that would be like around marijuana, because they I think it's legal there, right? Medical marijuana, maybe. But I was wondering, like,
got me. I don't know.
Yeah, I was wondering.
But I got tribal card.
Yeah. I was wondering what's the benefits of having a tribal card? Is it free healthcare? No.
Yes.
Oh, it is.
Well, that is one thing I know, because I had to give up because through my adopted parents, I was 1/4 Choctaw.
Oh, yeah.
I was 1/4 Choctaw by adoption. But then when I found out about being Redbud Sioux, I thought, well, okay. So I applied for a Redbud Sioux, just a certification.
Yeah.
But I had to give up my Choctaw card.
Ah.
And the Choctaw
So
was a civilized tribe.
Yeah.
And Redbud Sioux is not a civilized tribe. But I found out that the only value that it's had to me is just 2 times in life that my minority status or my tribal status has made a significant difference in anything.
Yeah.
One time was when I was in an interview. I was interviewing with Southwestern Bell Yellow Pages at the time.
Oh, wow.
And
Shout
I
out
was going
that big book that the Incredible Hulk ripped in half. No, $6 Million Man ripped it in half. Jamie
totally
Summers.
gone. But I go in, and the guy that's giving me the interview is just all, and we're talking, and I'm giving him a background, and came from Oklahoma State, and everything's were going good. I thought for a little bit, but then he's kind of looking through everything, and I could tell everything was just shutting down.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I said to him, is my minority status having a negative effect on this? And he goes, what do you mean? Because, I look like a white guy.
Yeah.
At that time, I looked like a white guy.
I mean, when I asked you, that's what I mean.
He said, minority status. And I said, yeah, the fact that I'm a Native American. And he goes, oh, no, it's because they'd already filled up all the white guy spots for that. And so
I love it, man.
That is how I got on.
Thank God.
That was the longest gig that I've had in my working career.
Oh, nice.
Was 17 years with Southwestern Bell, which then became
So they
AT&T.
had a white guy spot and a minority spots?
They
Like they had to have a certain amount to be.
I'm guessing at
fair,
this point it
basically,
was
yeah.
at some point this was the DEI
Yeah,
of
yeah,
that
yeah,
time.
back in the-
Around
But
what
they-
year was that?
This would have been
When
70.
when they had
about
yellow pages, they
20
don't gotta be
years
more.
ago. This would have been this would have been 99.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
In
So from the
99.
70s until then, it was pretty
And-
explicit.
But you know,
Yeah.
the slots they had already, because
Filled
a lot
up
of
all
times
white
what
boys'
would happen
spots.
was the people that they had internally,
Yeah.
they were going to put in those spots.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, yeah.
But it was going to be, you know, I might have taken a black lady spot.
Yeah.
Hey man, I was just
but
about
it was
to,
but the rest of the
yeah.
sales spots that were going to be filled were going to be were going to be filled by minorities. And
Oh,
the
yeah.
fact that, but he didn't know I was minority until I told him.
Yeah.
But that time, and the second time that it happened was at Watchtower Switchbacks. I face planted during the race, cut a gash over my eye, and finished the race. And then when I got back to the cabin, I sent photos to my wife, who's a nurse, and she said, you need to go to the hospital and get some stitches. She said that's too much. She said
There's a
there's
lot
too much
going on.
gone.
Yeah.
And so
much gone.
That's not gonna hit.
Kid, that's nuts.
my running buddy, who we'd coached together at Dallas Running Club, we go to and the only hospital there is the Indian Hospital at Tallahassee. Well, that's a Choctaw. But it's funded by the federal government.
Okay.
And so they asked for insurance, and I give them that, and I also give them my Redbud Sioux card, and they said, "Yeah, okay, we honor that." And then, and so anytime I go into the Choctaw Travel Plaza, I get the travel discount, even though I'm a Redbud Sioux. So those are the only times that it has meant anything. But there is, there is some value. But true. I mean, actual Indian blood, I'm about a third is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so back to, from Poto,
From Poto.
Yeah, Poto.
at second grade, we moved to Oklahoma City for one summer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started second grade in Atoka. So
Atoka was where that
my
race
dad
was.
got
Okay.
a job in Atoka, Oklahoma. That moved us there. Now, we originally, when we got to Poto, we were on our way to Casper, Wyoming,
Oh wow.
because he had been transferred. He worked for Brown Oil Tools, and he was a machinist in Houston.
Yeah.
Got transferred to Casper, Wyoming. Settled down in the little town of Fanshaws, where his parents lived. We stayed with them for about a month and a half, and all of our stuff came out of the U-Haul trailer and went into a little rent house. Then we went to Poto. Then he got a job there in Oklahoma City. He came across somebody that figured out that he should be in sales, and this guy hired him from being a machinist that was doing work on for him to being a salesman selling used bulldozers.
Oh,
Used bulldozer.
In Atoka. This guy was used equipment sales.
Hey man, you look like you'd be good to sell these used bulldozers.
That's what he said. Yeah. Because my dad just had the gift of bullshit. And I mean, he just knew he was a big talker, and he was friends with everybody.
be
and
that to sell a
that's
bulldozer.
that's how I ended up growing up in Atoka, Oklahoma. So I was in Atoka, Oklahoma from the second grade all the way until, about 15 years after I graduated college.
And that was Oklahoma State, you said?
Yeah, Oklahoma. I went to Oklahoma State for 4 years, then came back, ran a farm equipment dealership, and then started some other businesses with partners. Did that for about 8 years. Got out of all of those businesses and went to work for a TV station.
Nice.
And did that for about 7 years. Then left there, and we went to Tyler, and I worked for a radio station. That was a connection that I'd made. The guy that was my boss at the TV station for a while. He left, and then I took his position, and then he hired me to come there. We were in Tyler for 5 years.
Oh yeah.
And then I started playing tennis in Tyler.
Hey, there you go.
Still hadn't
course.
been running. But I played tennis, and then
I didn't even know they had tennis courts.
Tennis in Tyler. Sound like it's a TV show.
yeah, Tyler's a big tennis town.
Now, is it?
Really?
I didn't
It really
have no
is.
idea.
Yeah,
I love the That's crazy.
And the second year that I played, then I captained a mixed doubles team, and we won the Western State Nationals, the entire U.S. That year. Then right after that is when we left and we came to McKinney.
So since you used to play tennis,
90s.
now do you play pickleball?
I've never played pickleball.
Okay.
Never played,
So-
and I
some
don't play
ex-tennis
tennis.
players,
Well,
I can't see it.
and I was talking with Shashi yesterday about this because at the point I started running to improve my tennis game because I was in my late 40s at that time, and I was getting torched by these younger guys when we were playing in the summer, and it was over 100 degrees, and I was playing singles. Doubles, I was just fine, but playing singles, I'd get winded, and I was having a hard time. I thought, well, maybe I just need to get my cardio up, so I'll start running. And then, a couple of years later, when I'm getting ready for a marathon, and I realized when I'm playing tennis, I'm more worried about getting injured and not being able to run the marathon.
Oh, yeah.
That's when
That Achilles
switch
is in my
went-
head.
The switch went off. I've done screwed
That
tennis
Achilles.
here. Tennis is taking a back seat to running, and I can't believe it because I still hate running.
Yeah.
Still hated it at that time.
Yeah, I hated running. The first 2 years, I absolutely hated running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So that's it. Then
beautiful
so
hate.
So we were came to McKinney in 97, 98.
Yep.
Here 11 years. As soon as my daughter graduated high school, we moved to Addison because the commute. That time I was working for Southwestern or AT&T at that time.
So do you only have one kid?
Okay. One daughter.
And how old is she now?
She's 38.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So help me out with this.
Shout out to the daughter.
It's a classic story, except without the what people would expect in terms of stereotypical bumps, like busted up my family, sent me to another godforsaken piece of chunk with it. And like people don't know in the United States that this is the reservation is here. I lived in New York for a while. That's not originally where those people were. Very few on there.
All
Original,
across
the whole U.S.
And when you learn of each tribe, because I've done a lot, I've been doing more traveling since I've been retired, and I've got this. There's an app on my phone. It's called Audio, AUTIO. No, I get nothing off of it, but they just give little pieces of history. And it's based on your geography. It'll ding and it'll give you a story.
Nice.
Well, the stories that come up time and again all across the nation are how the Native Americans got screwed over and like the Trail of Tears and what happened. And I didn't learn until it was just like within the last 2 months when I was driving back and forth to some of these races in Arkansas that the Choctaws were fought with the Confederacy.
Oh, really?
And they were, and Oklahoma was a slave state.
Oh, okay.
Or it wasn't a state. It wasn't even statehood then, but that's in the forts there, like Fort Washita, Fort Gibson, the places that the federal government put forts in were to fortify these their troops, and the Indians were a big part of the Confederacy. At that time, and there were some owned slaves.
And also owned slaves too.
And in the same way, and in Texas was it was like I guess because the history wasn't taught as it actually is. I mean Texas kind of they took the cake. They just decided that Civil War didn't mean anything. We're just gonna keep the slaves here, and then 2 years later, because when I moved to Texas. I knew nothing about dang, what's it?
What is that?
Now then, I can't think of the name. The day they celebrated the Texas
Independence Day. No,
the Texas Emancipation Day, but it's
they're gonna kill all of us from that.
I know for not knowing it, but it's
I don't know.
Juneteenth.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Juneteenth.
I thought you meant like
No, Juneteenth.
Exactly.
I didn't have any knowledge of that from Oklahoma history or just zero knowledge.
It's barely Texas history. It's South Texas
and
history.
then, but East Texas was where there was a lot of plantations. I didn't know that until recently, that East Texas was huge in the cotton.
It was cotton.
Yeah, around Greenville area and further east in Marshall. Those were huge, and there were huge populations of slaves. There were more slaves than there were white people.
Big money.
That was back right before the Civil War. It was just like crazy. But all that, but the same thing you could see with the Native Americans happened all the way across, and there was always grift and corruption in the people that were handling the money that was supposed to go to them. They were skimming it off, and there were people that died of starvation, and they didn't get supplies and all that. But I mean, that happened in Idaho. That happened in Nebraska. It happened in Oregon. And I would have never known, except for that stupid app, because then teaches you everything. And I don't know how accurate that thing is, but I mean, it's got to be somewhat close to the truth, because
that's
it's
a history.
Hard to make up that kind of stuff.
We don't hear it. Plus, there's stuff there that I'm sure that you bump into even in that app that's not taught. So my question is this: I moved across Texas, lived in Arizona and then New Mexico, and I see like real talk still. That reservation life is not easy. I mean, the effects of displacement is crazy. So when you make when you say, well, I was adopted here, we moved from here to Poto, and then I went to Oklahoma State. I've never heard such a fluid transition. How was college? Just a thing.
I want to back up because what you said triggered something in me, because I was curious about the same thing, because Black Hills, the reason I did the Black Hills 100 mile, I saw that race, is because I knew I had origins there in my DNA. I mean, my people were from there. And so that was, that was one of the reasons that I wanted to go do that race.
And that's where you won those horns, right? The bull horns or whatever.
Right. That's it's a buffalo.
Yeah, buffalo.
Buffalo
okay.
horn.
Yep.
If you do all four distances, which is 100 mile, 50 mile, 50K, and 30K. If you do all of those, then you get it's called the Man in Black.
I saw that thing. That was incredible.
Cool.
And so, I started with the 100 mile, and I didn't even know about that until after I did the 100 mile, and then I went back for the 50 mile. It was the 50 mile when I figured out or paid attention. I mean, it's on their website. Right. It didn't mean anything to me. And then I'm going, okay, I got to go back, because it took me 3 attempts to get the 100 mile done. Over like about 5 years.
That's funny that we don't pay attention to stuff. But
that's a long way of winding around back to your point. But in the last time that I went and the time before, I went through to the reservation. I've gone through 2 different parts of the reservation. Now I had to go to where the tribal headquarters are to get my my card.
So when does each tribe have their own tribal headquarters?
Yes. Each tribe is basically they're a sovereign. Well, if there's a reservation like the Redbud Sioux, that's a sovereign nation. They have their own police force. They have their own prison. I mean, if you commit a crime there, you're under their jurisdiction. You're going to go to their jail. And now if you commit a federal crime, I guess that would supersede, but you don't have feds there. You don't have the highway patrol doesn't patrol their streets.
So the first I heard about that in Oklahoma was the Flower Moon area. So what tribe was that one?
That I'm not sure. Is that maybe Chickasaw or the
Osage?
Osage.
Yeah. And they made the movie about that, where they I guess they hid oil there. Is that correct? The story, and then the white man came and tried to wipe them out and take the oil. So this is the funny story. Was I was in McDonald's, and I'm talking to this guy. He's a white guy, and he is like, "Oh yeah, I'm part of the tribe," And I was like, "What? You don't look like Native American at all." But his family probably was trying to marry in to over time, you know what I mean?
But there's a lot of people, and you look at a lot of the tribal members. They look more white than they do Native American.
But I wonder the reason is, of course, they were marrying in to it from the original
Well,
state.
I don't think you'll find a tremendous amount of wealth in any Native American
Anymore.
population
Yeah.
at all,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they just don't know. Because that's the same recurring story.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
if there's resources like Black
They've
Hills,
been stolen.
okay,
Yeah.
they're going to take them off
The
of
worst
that
thing is-
land.
the
and
worst
they're
thing is
gonna
that
put 'em-
oil be
and then
found.
they're going to put them on crappy land. That's the same thing that happened
okay.
in Oklahoma. The Indians got good land, and then they got taken away and got moved to sorry land, because whenever they would find that there's resources there that could be pillaged, that's what, and that recurs too. The same thing.
And then when they think it's sorry land, they'll move them again when they find minerals,
Right.
And so keep that line of thought you were on why you were in Black Hills.
But what I was saying is that your thought made me think of. So I went through the reservation, not on the Redbud Sioux, but I went to the Ogallala Sioux, which is further away, and they have a big community there. And I just drove around, and basically the town where the town part of town, it looks like the rundown part of South Dallas.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, you just pick anything around Fair Park.
Yeah.
That it's those houses. Some of them condemned. Some of them there'll be one in 2 or 3 blocks that they got pride in ownership. They take care of it, but it's still old.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not anything that has been like scraped and rebuilt there at all. There's none of that happens. But then, and they only had 1 or 2. There's one convenience store. There's a store that's like a general store and has a whole bunch of stuff. They got like groceries and lumber and everything, but you don't have much diversity. And there's one like a Taco John is the only
Food
franchise restaurant there is in that whole town. And you're miles away. I mean, you're 30, 50 miles away from the next community of any size at all. But that's what I had. And I just walked around, and I had a walking taco from this lady that had just had a canopy up.
Yeah.
And it was just the neatest thing. And I had some pictures too, because they had some really neat artwork on the side of this building that was whoever the company that does the internet service. They only have one, and that's the building, but they had artwork on the back side of it, and they had just kind of like just a square that people would bring. They looked like a big garage sale, most of it. People just out of the back of their trunk just got all kinds of junk to sell. But it's
like a swap meet.
But their streets and roads were just terrible.
Garbage,
I mean, they just didn't have any maintenance on them like anywhere else.
And so that's
you
where I
would
am
see.
coming from all that. How is it so smooth? I grew up in this, and then I went to Oklahoma State. How does that? Because right to this day, when I see kids on the reservation, it's not college. It's almost still as distant as if, was it just something you knew you were going to do?
I grew up just the regular,
Just normal. Okay.
I didn't, I mean, it's not like.
Thank you for busting, because that was a stereotype
it's not
in my
like
head.
that
I'm
I know
like,
I'm Indian even. I mean, it's just like, but I looked much more, I was a lot darker when I was younger. I mean, I would darken in the summertime. I was darker than the light-skinned black people. Way darker. And now I'm, I get little, but not.
Hey, yo,
much.
let me put this part right. You said I might have taken the job of a black person. I'm like, dog, let's just put the deal down. We got 246 years of free labor out of black people, and you got which built this country. And then you have the Native Americans who were already here. Let's steal all that land and let's knock out with disease and purpose and minerals, all that stuff. I'm like, man, if you get that job ahead of me, go ahead. If anybody complains like, dang, Native Americans taking my job, I was like, well, let's just make the deal. I'll give you one $40,000 job for me to bust up your family and take off, so you can't really pay in money terms, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
but that recurrence of that same theme is just that was a shocking thing to me in the travels that I've done in the last couple of years.
Wow.
Because it's like just a carbon copy. It's the same story, just a little different twist.
Yeah.
And the villains and the good guys, and there's always a good guy trying to do something right, but he just makes a little dent in it,
Right.
And it's in our face as much as Manhattan. I lived there, not in Manhattan. I lived in New York City for 25 years, and people don't know that name. Manhattan, that's not English.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
and
most
all
names,
of Long Island.
Yeah. And most of the
Native
names
American.
are Native American names.
All of it.
Yeah, they came from that. I mean, it's
New
crazy.
York
Arkansas That's a Native American.
Illinois.
I forgot what it was, but yeah, and Texas, and also the original. I mean, the native Texans were Mexican. I mean,
yeah.
that was it. But yeah, it was.
So much still that's not taught and
But
to
that-
discover.
that's
I
great.
appreciate that app. I'm gonna look it up just because
So, Steve, tell me, you have a lot of running history in the ultra running scene.
in a short time though, dadgummit.
Well,
About a little over a decade.
That's not
is
20
all I've
years.
been running.
Yeah.
Is all I've been running trails.
Yeah.
Because I started trail running.
You put in work though, so it's not.
Major
not-
work.
You're doing one after the other. You're not stopping. So, go over like some of your favorite races. I know you like Arkansas because you keep going back. So.
And keep that how to do it for the new person.
And let's go over your first Arkansas Traveler. You said was your first, and that's what Eric wants to do, and me.
Oh, okay.
And that would be Eric's first also. So go over that one, that race, and how was it that first go at it? Did you say you DNF the first time?
No.
Okay, not that race. Right.
No,
Okay,
no.
yeah.
Well, Rocky Raccoon was going to be
that's gonna
first.
be first.
Rocky
Oh,
Raccoon
okay,
was
yeah.
my first 50 mile,
Okay.
and
yeah.
so Rocky was going to be my first 100.
Yeah.
Because I just knew it, and I
Right.
go, okay, I know that course.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's well
it's all
supported.
right. I
Yeah,
liked
yeah,
it and
yeah,
everything. And I didn't know anything about Arkansas at that point.
Yeah.
And so I'm just training my ass off to get ready for this 100-miler, and I'm overtraining. I'm overtraining slightly.
Okay.
And so I go to North Shore this one weekend, and it must have been in December, November, December, and I forget when Rocky is. It's like a February race, I think.
Yeah. Yep. February 1st. Yep.
And
when
so in
when it was.
December, I go out there,
Yep.
and I've got like an 18, 15, 18 mile run or something. And so it starts raining.
Yeah.
And so I go, no, I'm just going to gut this on out. I'm going to keep going.
Right.
So I'm going from Merrill to Rockledge. And at that time, this was before, you guys don't even know that trail because it hadn't existed
Right.
since you guys started running. Because after the flood came, it took off
They had
the
to redo it
face
all.
of that rock right before you get to Rockledge. It's gone.
Yeah.
But for the part that I went up and it had a negative camber on it. And I slipped and I fell and I started down and I started tumbling
shit. Yeah.
and I hit a stub hit on my thigh and poked into my thigh. And so then I'm going, oh crap. And I make it about halfway down to the water, but then the shrubs and that was there caught me. And so I slide my way back up and then I'm going, well, I got to get back. Just forget about, I was almost to Rockledge because I would just run to the edge of Rockledge, not like where the race goes, and then come back. So I make my way back, and now it's pouring down rain and it's flash flooding.
Yeah.
So all of those little creeks, they are raging,
Yeah,
and they are now, instead of being like
Small
ankle
rivers.
high, they are waist high.
Yeah.
And I got there's no ropes, nothing out there, and they're wide. They're never more than like this wide of water.
You got enough moccasins out there to think about too.
Now then, they're 10, 12 feet wide and roaring, and I'm going, man, this is so stupid. But I got to get back to the car, and so I make my way back, and I've screwed my leg up, so I'm injured. So now that took me out of Rocky. Because I couldn't. I
punctured leg is kind of
I
hard to run
couldn't
on.
run. Well, it had bruised and it didn't really
Swell up.
It didn't. It wasn't that devastating of an injury, but I couldn't run for about. It was about 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh wow.
So I couldn't get back to running, and so I just had to scrap DNS. That was my first DNS. The first race I'd signed up for and didn't run. Was that, and so I was, I first thought, okay, I'll just wait till next year because I was I'd gotten into the mentality of like 1 marathon or 2 marathons a year. I wasn't realizing what the potential was that my body was able to do. I was being super conservative because I was just doing what everybody else was doing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, well, you can only run like 100 a year. So, but I was getting antsy. And then I don't know how I came across Arkansas Traveler, but I just saw that it was in October and I'm going, okay, That's gets me happy. I mean, I can get back in shape and be able to go. And I think that may have been the year that I ran Boston.
Oh,
because that was my last Boston in 2000.
How many times did you do Boston?
I've only done one.
Oh, okay.
It took me 5 years to
qualify
from the time I decided to start.
Yeah.
And then, but that was when I did Boston, I actually did it in trail shoes and a pack because I was training for for Traveler.
So
man came from hating running to Boston within less than 10 years.
Arkansas Traveler, is there any surprises that we need to know about on that race? Like Eric, have you even ran in Arkansas before, Eric?
Yeah, up in Bentonville. Crazy a lot of trails up there, thousands of miles.
Yeah, what is Bentonville?
Arkansas, Bentonville, Arkansas. It's the Walmart town, but you don't seem to see any Walmart. But
you probably were on the mountain bike trails around there.
Yeah.
There's a race called the Back 40. That's a 40-mile race that goes through those.
And you can do a 40-mile loop.
But this is going to
man. be
a lot different than that.
It's a little chunkier.
So all I've ever.
How about with? Oh, go ahead.
You're going to have it's a well-supported race.
Yeah.
You're not going to find you're going to have as good of aid stations as you're going to find anywhere anywhere across the country.
Yeah.
Because the people that do it, a lot of them they're not runners, but the majority of them have at least one or two that are going to be really experienced, and the major aid stations are going to have a lot of experience, ton of experience there. They know what they're doing, and they're going to get you. They're going to take care of you. They'll get you in and out. If you're going to need help, or if you're having troubles, they also know the course, and they're going to be able to kind of guide you to what you're going to need to get on through.
Listen,
But you can absolutely do it with just drop bags. I would say you
That's
don't really need a crew unless you're super fast people that you're just trying to you're pit stopping it, zipping in and out. That would be the only reason I would say you even need a crew there. The cutoffs are kind of tight. They're not. You can't go real slow to be able to make the cutoffs. But the trick in that one is you don't want to go too hard at the first of the race, but you can't go too slow because the first is a 17-mile loop that has some technical, and I would say that just don't do any of the climbs hard. All of the climbs you're going to have plenty of time. Just walking. But you don't want to blow yourself up because there's some really technical and hard, really steep climbs. There's Browns Creek. You're going to go past that aid station twice. Okay. The first time you go past it, you're going to have some nice technical climbing that you're going to go up and over. And then the second time when you come down back to it, you're going to immediately have a really steep. It's not very long, but it's super steep. Okay. And if you make the mistake of trying to go hard, or if you're following somebody and they're a good climber and you're trying to stay with them, there's no need because it's not that long of a climb. Okay. You want to be able to go downhill in the flats. You've got plenty of that you can make up good time. So you can do all of it just jogging it. If you jog the downhills and the flats, you don't have to run hard any of it. Okay. Really? None of it. You don't need to.
30-hour cutoff, you said?
It's a 30-hour cutoff, but it's the cutoffs that you're getting back to Lake Winona. That's kind of the tough one.
Okay.
They got a halfway cutoff, I guess.
There's a cutoff at Powerline and at the turnaround. Okay. Now, if you don't make those, and the times I've timed out or gotten picked up by a sag wagon has been one time I timed out at the turnaround. One time the other two times I got it. It was after coming back to Copperhead, which is the aid station in between the turnaround and Powerline. If you can get back to Powerline aid station with a half hour to an hour cushion ahead of cutoff, you should have the race made.
Now yours is from blowing up your pace early in the race. Is that what happened?
Not being trained well enough. No, I just wasn't trained well because I knew. But see, I'd run that race so many times. Yeah. And I knew the Arkansas people. Yeah. And when I saw the people that were always way slower than me passing me before I get the power line the first time, which is not even 48 miles, I knew I was in trouble and when I knew that the sun's going down before I get to power line, if you don't make it there before dark, well, you're probably going to be in a little bit of trouble. Oh yeah, you're not toast, but you got to go you got to maintain speed the rest of the way. If you're ahead of cutoffs coming through power line the first time by at least an hour or so of their written cutoffs, you should be fine.
So I'm worried about my base. Well, I always am, but I know this. It's not a mystery. Get long, get the training. So I'm off of. I've done a few 50s. My last was it was 17-minute pace, 15 hours at where?
Grasslands.
Yeah, grasslands, but that's a flat thing. And so
Just keep this in mind. Okay, just keep in your mind a 15-minute average pace.
Yeah,
that's a sub 2,400 mile. In a hard 100-mile race like this, that's an incredible time. That is an incredible time. And if you're on pace, and I've been on a sub 24 pace at the first third of the race, you screwed up.
But you pay for that.
If you if you're doing that, you don't. There's no need to be running that first half that fast. But
take it easy.
I'll tell you can run it too slow because I gave that advice to a running buddy of mine. She went so slow that she timed out.
She must have been in the 20s though. She must have been 20 minutes. Okay, because I'm aiming 17 to 20 in the
17-mile loop. Came out way behind, but she was being very cautious because of that. And I didn't realize that she wasn't comfortable running technical hills, and so she was being overly cautious and going down that. And that's that's part of that's a guilty pleasure of mine is to just bomb down a really technical downhill that's full of rocks.
Make
and
it
everything.
up. I can do that. So with somebody like me, like you're coming off a punctured leg, basically from 0 into that first 100, I'm gonna put myself in that same category. I'm comfortable with 50s. If I had to do one right now, it would be uglier than 2 weeks ago. But I should be in decent shape if from now till travel just to get my training in.
You got plenty of time, and and the thing that I would say is if you could get some strength training in to help with the climbing, that'll get your legs there. Nice. You don't need the speed. I mean, you got plenty of speed. You guys, both of you guys have plenty of speed already. You're going to have that. You just do the training you do because the trick in this is you want to have your slowest speed as high as you can get it. You want your walking speed and your hiking speed. If right now you're comfortable, once you kind of blow yourself up and you're comfortable and you're doing an 18 or 19, you need to get that down a minute or two to where you're comfortable is like a 17 or 16.
I can walk a 17 in my most messed up state, but that's only on 50s. But so I'll just train.
And usually,
like
if you're fighting cutoffs on a mountain race like this, if you're within 30 minutes to an hour of the cutoffs, and you can hold a 20-minute mile pace, you can almost always finish a race out.
So you just keep doing the math on listen to your body.
Right. And at a 20-minute pace, and 20 minutes though on a mountain course is not. That's not. I mean, it's a tough hike because of the climbs, but then that may be just a slow shuffle going down. You know, but you're not running hard. But it's not an easy slow hike. But that will get you through, get you to the finish, even if you're starting to crowd cutoffs, because when you do the math, you'll kind of figure it out. But it's good to know in your head that because trail math never is good after you're halfway through 100.
So Brendan,
is there any river crossings?
There's a few creek crossings, but
nothing big.
No, nothing.
Just walking in one.
Yeah, there's not. Well, and once you get there, there really isn't ever. I haven't ever had wet feet. In that race, there's some places where you could get in. There's some little boggy spots, but you can most of those you can always run around. But hardly ever is it rain there.
So let me ask. This sounds like the perfect. Like if you run a differentiated road, trail, and mountain running is a different sport. This sounds like the perfect trail type trail. Like it's a harder. You have the climbs, but you can run and jog on with technical climbs and downhills and all that. And so, Brendan, this gets to for people who maybe hearing this for the first time. They hear, man, those guys just walk. And so I love it because the math is this.
We're doing a lot of
I want you to come out there.
Hikers.
I wish you could come out and walk with me. And most people can't walk that. And so it's a mix of, I don't describe it as running or walking. I say I have this much time to cover this much ground as fast as I can.
There's people that.
And so that's what people don't realize. There's still pressure to move quickly.
There's people that have done this race 20 times.
Oh, gosh.
And most of the people that have done it 20 times, at least 5 to 10 of them has been 80% hiking.
Oh, yeah.
And they're you know, but even the ones
That's
that
strong.
Which is wise.
And there's
on the
some
uphills.
people that have like had at one point had the record time that are still doing it. They're not near that record time now,
but they're still
doing it, and it's, you know, but it.
And people don't know it when we say hiking. Just again for context, a little math hit me as I was doing grasslands. I'm like, Eric, don't run as fast as you can walk. So what's my fastest, almost uncomfortable walk? It's 15 minutes, 15-minute pace. And so I know some people.
Which is fast.
That's a
sub 24 pace.
I can
can't
hit sub 15 for a little bit, but I can't hold it. I can't hold it. I can get into the 14s, but I can't do that I can't go 5 miles at a 14:30 pace. Walking, I'll have to jog to do that. But that's an incredibly fast pace. But if you could, and here's some, because the last annual Ball State race is what I'm training for in July. And I was talking with my buddy when we were doing the 25 miler yesterday. And I figured out, okay,
is this Shashi?
Shashi, yeah.
Shout out to
Shashi.
Yeah.
Shashi already.
Yeah.
He needs to come on the show.
Gontley,
Actually.
last name Gontley.
Oh, my bad. Yeah.
But no, you got it. And you pronounced it correctly.
Oh, okay.
That is okay.
That's his first name. All that was his first name.
Yes, but the way that it breaks down, because there's Shashi, and then the ready part, that means farmer.
Hey.
And
So you know
then,
that.
Red means farmer.
But you know, and like you hear Patel.
Yeah, that's the name.
Patel, that means businessman.
That's the money catch.
That is. But
Patel's on the
that's
hotels.
all one name. That's his first name.
Cast
and
name.
Gontley is the last name.
That's funny because my last name is Fieldman. So Veltman it's Dutch, but I'm basically a farmer too. So so it was Fieldman.
But anyway, we were talking, and I kind of broke it down because I did a run just a day before without a pack, just to kind of see, okay, what is because I don't really know where I am. The slow pace, just easy walking. I was about 18, easy walk. Walking, and it was kind of warm. It was about 70 and a little humid. And then I was, but when I was walking with pretty much, I'd say with purpose. I mean,
that's a
not
good way to
blowing
call
it up.
Walking with purpose,
but I was 16. And then when I was doing the shuffle, and which is what the fastest that I will run. No, it was a 13. I was 13, 16, 18. Those were the paces that I had. Those are the paces that I'll be using in this 314-mile race.
Ooh-wee,
I will not
314.
unless I'm going downhill.
Yeah.
I won't go faster than a 13, but it'll probably be more. My shuffles will be more like a 14 or 15.
That's great, man.
And I'll be hoping to hold 16, 17 most of the way. But if it's really hot and sometimes on the climbs, it may be.
And where's this at? This race?
It's in Tennessee.
Tennessee.
It goes from it starts in Missouri and ends up in Kentucky.
Oh,
you go across the whole state of Tennessee.
Shoot, that's why I feel better even about grasslands. We finished it, and I'm like, dang, it didn't even hit that heat that they said it was going to hit. And my man goes, Eric, it was 95 degrees. I said, either that's my delusion or
many
like
people got dehydrated.
And I felt guilty. I sat in a couple of the aid stations. I was like, dang, that's 20 minutes. So I figure if I just get my training right now.
But the thing is most people, and I did the same thing. I didn't really enjoy the long trail runs near as much as I've enjoyed them in the last 3 years. Once I figured out, okay, if I dial it back to where I can finish strong, I can finish running as much as I start.
5 miles running.
Or even close.
Yeah.
I mean, because usually what I would do, and even in the 100 miles that I did that were sub 28s, I got a sub 27. I got 2 sub 28s, the first 2 that I did at Traveler. Yeah. And those I blew up, and I had, I had some kind of problems. I puked my way the last half of the second one. And
misery.
But I went out way too hard. If I'd had a good, solid race strategy on those, I probably would have sub 26'd them. And not have the problems but I wouldn't have gone out as fast, but I would have finished the last half way faster than I did because I'd slowed down so much, and I didn't have a power hike. I hadn't trained to hike, and you need to get some of that training in.
These hills,
you need to be
over
comfortable doing a fast
Yeah,
walk because it's different muscles.
So I was going to ask you about that. So I did ABF. So ABS tougher hills than traveling.
Way tougher.
Okay.
Way tougher.
And then Silamo was tougher also.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get a comparison.
You've got a
what
few.
like.
You've got a handful of climbs. There's a bunch of climbs. I mean, you're doing a lot of up and down,
It-
but there's
it
a lot
accumulates.
of rolling that
Right.
aren't big giant climbs, and there's only a few that are kind of technical, but there's most of it. And the thing you want to be careful of is because of these Forest Service roads, the road surface is real fine rock.
Okay.
And so that's going to eat your feet up. So
Ooh,
a lot of people will get blisters
Oh yeah.
at the end of the race. I always would change
double
socks
up.
and shoes at least halfway through, either
Okay.
a power line or Copperhead or the turnaround.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
But sometime at least by the time I get back to power line, I will have at least change socks.
Right.
Or maybe shoes. I used to change shoes now, and I don't worry so much about that.
Yeah.
Because, but I will have a change of socks for sure. Because what happens is that you're no matter what kind of shoes you have, that
You're
stuff
shifting
just
inside?
it's going to be.
It's
You're
gonna
going to have
form.
a sandy.
It's gonna form.
You're going to have sand all in your socks and shoes,
Gross.
no matter what they are.
Yeah.
And if you can just get that cleared out, at least, and start kind of fresh, just wipe your feet off a little bit, that's going to help you a lot because a lot of people end up in those aid stations coming back that are within 50K of the finish or so. That's where they're going to have feet problems.
I had a beach in my shoe after grasslands, but is it as much of a heavenly sounding feeling to change socks, or is it just I got to do it? I mean, once you change, I've never changed anything, but I haven't done hundreds. I mean, with the 50s. Now, you do feel it later in a race where the shoe feels tight or something. So I thought maybe just unlaced and laced back up to get that fresh feeling, but fresh socks. Do you feel
Fresh socks is what good.
feels good?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
I would
personal.
even-
I guess.
I always just did it for prevention. I mean, but my feet do feel now in this race. I'm going to be wearing the same socks the whole time, but I will be probably stopping down at least every 5 to 6 hours, and I'll take my shoes and socks off, let my feet get cooled down, and I'll check them to make sure that I'm not having a problem. And if I need to retape or if I need to do anything with them, I'll take care of it.
You
But
expand and shrink the whole time.
right, and a lot of times, I mean, in this race that I'm doing, it's common that you need to know how to cut your shoes if your feet expand, because a lot of times their feet will swell over a period of days when you're doing this day after day after day.
Right.
So you need to be comfortable with just cutting those shoes and making sandals out of them so that you're not rubbing, if you've got a bad blister
never
spot.
heard that.
Yeah.
But,
So what's the furthest that you've gone on a race? Is this going to be the furthest? It's
furthest
310.
distance
314
that
or
I've
something.
gone would
Shoot.
be Jackalope. I did 184. I think.
Okay, so this is going to be
180
the
That
furthest.
was 100 hours.
Oh yeah.
I did in a training run that I did in 4 days and 6 hours. I did 171 miles on pavement. Jackalope was on it was pasture gravel road
Okay.
with a little bit of elevation.
Now I heard you say, which is my temptation too, and it's bad getting over pride and guilt in this game. I know it intellectually, but then, like, for example, after grasslands, I went out and said, man, I can still run fast, but anybody running faster. So I'm doing loops around White Rock Lake trying to get these 8s. I'm like, that's your old road mind creeping in. But when you say you trained and then overtrained, probably out of that fear, what would be a good, do I just stack up a bunch of back-to-backs between now and then, long and slow, between now and October? Like,
Okay.
middle miles.
okay.
I know it's a bunch of stuff written on this, but I want to hear
Here's basic
You're sitting
training.
right here
this
with
this is coming from our RCA certified marathon coach. That and non-certified, just the School of Hard Lucks and learning from other people on the trail end of it. I have no trail certifications at all. Just got the skins on the wall. But I've talked to a bunch of people because that's how I get my information is people that are doing the shit that I want to do.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, you are not going to go wrong using that basic 10% rule. Don't ever increase your mileage or effort level combined more than 10% per week. So so if you keep, but I don't train by miles anymore. I'm all
Time.
by time. It's
Yeah.
all by time
That's
and
it.
effort.
Yep.
So, and now that I don't even care. I mean, I kind of will, but for me, I'm a daily. If I don't do at least a 5K, just a warm up walk,
Yeah.
I feel bad. Something's wrong, and so but I don't limit myself anymore on miles because I know I'm good. But I don't have a problem if I take 2 or 3 days and I don't run at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't blow me up. I can
machine's
do that
still on.
before a race. I've hard tapered before because I've had injury that I got the injury fixed and I knew it was okay, but I didn't run for a week or week and a half before a race. And then I went out and ran the race and it's okay. So, but some people mentally it messes with them when they don't run. They think, because you do get those feelings that, I'm going to lose all my my VO2 max is going to drop through the floor. But I would say increase your mileage, stay within that. It won't hurt to do. I mean, if you want to do some speed work, you can, but it's really not going to help you that much in this race. What you're going to be, you're probably going to be better off spending some time, blocking some time off just to practice your fastest power hike you can do.
And let's say,
and I would say if you could do it in your case, you got to be doing everything at CRP. I would do everything at CRP.
That's what I was about to ask you.
I would go out there.
What about Samson?
Because that's where I trained. That's where I trained.
What is CRP?
What
Cedar Ridge Preserve.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cedar Ridge Preserve is where I would do all of my training.
What about
if I were you?
what
So
about
it's got the variation. I need to get the repetitions
I would do
up
those loops
and Big Cedar as well.
And what I would do is every time to get, I would do them at CRP because you can get a little more vert there, a little more quality vert.
But that's different from Big Cedar, right? I didn't know there was vert at CRP. I think
CRP
I ran it, but
you need to do all of the climbs.
They got
do
the steps,
full loop.
right? Don't they have
You're
steps
going to
there at
do,
CRP?
you're going to have a lot of steps.
Yeah.
So you
Okay.
do them.
Steps,
Thank you.
Do those.
But
You'll
it's
get
worth it.
strength out of those. You'll hate them because they're monotonous.
Steps,
Especially if you try to run down
if you'll do a full CRP loop, is going to get you about 12 miles.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
thank
you do every single thing there is out there, you do all of Blue Bonnet, and then. But what I usually do is start on Possum Haw and go clockwise, and you go Possum Haw, and then you do Cedar Break, and that's about 3.5 miles. But every time that you do a climb where you have to power hike, as soon as you get to the top, go back down to the point where you started power hiking and do that again.
Yeah.
And that will get you all the vert you need. And then, and then I would always do at least a couple of night runs. And every time I've been to CRP and done night training, there's been somebody else out there training, and every time they're training for a long race. It's somebody training for 100-miler somewhere.
That's good to know because I underestimated CRP.
I haven't done a night run at CRP in years, but when I was at the first ones that I was doing, that's where I would go.
I totally underestimated because I've run it before, but I just go all the way to the back where you hit Beltline Road and Cedar Hill. But I didn't know there was that much vertical available. And
no, you do all of Cedar Break Trail, and then you come back, and then you do Fossil Valley. That's going to take you up to Trout Lily. But when you do Trout Lily, you're going to go up to the top, and then come back down the other side, because that's where when you get to the top of Trout Lily, you see the overlook that looks back toward the military.
over Loop 12 off.
Where Loop 12 goes back. Back down, but then go to your right, and that takes you right back down, and you do that Trout Lily again.
It's pretty high up if you can see the Loop 12.
And then you go back up on that. Then you go back down. You're going to go back around the pond. Now, when you get to the pond, take a left and go up and touch the Rusty Gate. That's going to get you a little extra, and that's going to put you right there on the highway that's right across from Cedar Hill State Park.
That's Beltline. That's 1382.
Yeah, 1382.
I climbed the fence and went over there and then came back.
But you can go up and always touch the Rusty Gate. Anytime you're running that, you got to go up and you got to go over the gravel pile, touch the Rusty Gate.
But if you run anything, you cannot resist. You're running, you see a Rusty Gate, your brain tells you, I got to go touch that.
Got to touch.
So are you going out there at all, Steve, for your training or no?
Yeah, no, that's my go.
you are
That
going
is
to
my
Sacred.
go-to. That's my go-to
What
trail.
day-
but
what
right
day-
now, I'm
Yeah,
training
we can get
more.
out there.
I'm training more for roads, so I haven't
Oh,
been doing
okay,
as
okay,
much.
okay.
But I'm also training for Barkley Fall Classic, which
Right, yeah.
I'm more worried about it training wise than I am that. And that's where I really need to. That's the reason I'm doing all these Arkansas races, because that's getting me still hard technical vert.
Yeah.
But that's where I need, but that, and then over at Sansom Park,
Yeah,
I would do the washouts on Sansom
Yeah,
Park.
I've done
That's
repeats there.
but you don't need that for traveler.
Okay.
But Cedar Ridge Preserve is all
That's
you'll
good to
need
know. That's my
because
backyard.
okay, and in that escarpment, that's going to be kind of like most of the Forest Service roads are going to be that kind of trail.
Okay.
That's what you're going to have. You're going to have that 60% of that race is going to be like that.
Define what you called overtraining when you were doing it wrong at first.
It's too many miles.
Okay.
Too many miles. Too hard an effort.
So would
2 miles
would
too
you
hard.
ever
Yes,
do? So when I first started training for the 100-miler, I would do a back-to-back long runs.
Oh yeah,
So,
always
okay,
back to backs
okay.
though.
That's
At least,
what I'm
that's the other
Get
thing.
a bunch of those in.
If you can't get your
Couple of
miles
20
in during
milers
the week,
or something, yeah.
don't worry about getting low miles in. But if you can do 15 to 20 miles, if you can do 20, 25, or if you can do a 20 on Saturday and then do a 20 on Sunday. But I would always try to make one of those a night run. Or start it at night.
Yeah,
start at 10
Well,
o'clock.
that's
Start
good,
at 8, or start at 6 o'clock at night, and then run all the way until you get the run done.
Till
So
sunrise.
so you get up until 2 o'clock. Because the other thing that you're going to do is if you haven't, the only time you're going to experience the sleep deprivation is when you do a 100-miler or a long, and you need to know how you're not going to train your body to do any better, but you need to know what happens from midnight to 4 a.m. When you start getting wonky. You need to be able to recognize,
Seeing babies
it's
in the
just like,
woods.
because you're going to have the same sensations as if you're drunk. And you're losing control.
I've
you
seen
lose
trees
body
moving,
control.
babies throwing
You're not
apples.
able to hold you're not able to hold the line. You're not able to see straight. You're not, when that stuff goes, you need to be cognizant of what that feels like, so that when you're in the race, okay, I'm kind of screwed up. Maybe I need to take a little nap or need to rest for a little bit, because it doesn't get any better.
How about this we're in straight up suburbia and city. So we got plenty of woods accessible, but I had a thought, would help me before, but I haven't done it for 100 I just need time, I thought, and I put it on the roads. And so I would do back-to-backs, 20s on the roads, but okay.
That would work.
Yeah.
No,
Just
that
slow.
would work.
It's just
getting it.
time on feet. I think.
Yeah, time on feet.
Yeah,
And the other thing is sometimes if you want to get to really to test it, is don't do it not rested. Do if you're at work day or if you're working on Friday, then
Straight from
just go straight from work or get something to eat, and it also do that. Also run on full belly.
Yeah.
That's going to kind of mess with you, but you're going to have to do that in a race, because at some point you're going to have to stop down and eat because you screwed up and you haven't gotten enough calories, and then you're going to kind of overload. So you need to be, you need to be comfortable making those transitions. But
Good stuff.
but then that gets you, if you do a Friday night run, and then you can do you can have a rest on Saturday, or you can get up and do a Saturday run, but it doesn't matter, because you want to go into that second one fatigued,
Proper stress.
that you kind of you want to know what it feels like to feel like shit when you're running or walking or not able to run, and kind of get a sense of, okay, here's where my pace goes, but don't push yourself to do too much at any of those points.
That it's almost 1 mile, because I clocked it. That hill going 1380 to a Beltline down Cedar Hill into Cedar Hill, across the bridge, Joe Pool. And so it was 108, and I made purpose to go out and run those days, because you don't have to run as far to get the benefit.
Oh, yeah.
So I was doing 20s, and I thought I was good. And one day, the sky turned into like grapefruits, and so I just laid down right there on Beltline. I was like,
I will be proud if I can do 20-minute miles in the heat in Tennessee. I'm not going to worry if it's less than that, because I'm just not going to push it. Because what happens when you push it is your fluid intake has to go up dramatically. Your sweat's going to go up, and once you get blown up with heat stress, then you're really, it's hard to recover.
You can't,
because you can't get your core temperature down. The trick is keeping your core temperature at a reasonable. I mean, it's not going to be very reasonable, but keeping it out of the red line.
And plus, you can't trick the body. You've activated some survival that ain't going to turn off.
Right,
That you haven't trained for.
Exactly.
So we were not going to cover a lot of ground today because you got a lot. So I'm going to.
We got to come back, man.
Yeah,
We got to talk Native American. We got to talk like no joke.
round two and round three.
Round two.
I got Black Hills stories. I really
That's what I wanted.
share, but,
So I was going
Thanks for the traveler stuff, though. That was huge.
Before we cut off, I want to ask: do you battle? So you've ran for about a decade. You're saying, right?
Trails.
Trails for
Yeah,
about 2
I
years.
started
So
running probably.
Have you
2007.
battled injury?
No.
No. So you've always stayed pretty healthy on the trails.
Fairly. The longest I've ever gone from a running injury.
Yeah.
It's taken me out.
Yeah.
It's been maybe a month. And during that time, I was doing the rehab stuff and then doing test runs.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And one of them was before 100.
Yeah.
It was before my second 100 because I and that was a traveler. I did a training run, and it was over Labor Day weekend, and I ran downhill. I ran a big downhill, and it was feeling it because the Saturday run, it was hot.
Yeah.
It was really hot. This Sunday, it was cool. I was doing sub 8s going downhill and feeling good. So I just blew it all away, and I blew my shins out, and I was by myself because at that time they were doing Saturday and then doing Monday on Labor Day weekend. And I was doing Saturday and Sunday because I wanted to be back home. I wanted to travel back on Monday, but I knew doing 2 back-to-backs, I wasn't good enough to go. And so, but I blew my shins out, and it was a 20-mile run. I was going to where the turnaround is from where Powerline aid station is on that run. I didn't make it. When I realized I couldn't run anymore, then I got to where the walking was terribly painful. So I decided I better turn around. And you're out in the middle of nowhere. I saw no one the whole time that I was on that route. And then I had to walk back, and I had to stop multiple times walking because the pain came up so much. So rehabbing the
I love that misery. I don't love it.
So
But
I want to ask you,
you're
what hits first on these 100-milers? Like, because it was my knees that went out on me. Like I was like, they would lock up mile 60.
But you had previous injury, you mean? Not from the race.
No. It was from the race because
how does that happen?
Because I never did 100 miles. This is my first 100, and mile 60 is when my knee started to lock up, and I was like, man,
you don't know.
Yeah,
you don't know because I had a sharp pain.
Yeah.
I had a sharp pain in my knee at where was it? It was in 100-mile. It may have been the last time I did Traveler, or it was at Lovett. No, it wasn't Lovett. It was, or it may have been a Black Hills race. But I had sharp pain. I took some Tylenol.
Yeah.
I mean, and it just never came back.
Yeah.
And it worried me because I don't have sharp pain. I mean, sharp pain.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like somebody putting an ice pick in it. But it went, and that was like, I wasn't even 50K in the race.
Yeah.
But it went away. But it can be, I mean, once you're hardened up to the distance and you've gone and you've done 100 miles, or you've done a couple of 100 miles, or you've at least done a couple of 100Ks, your body is hardened, and it knows it.
Your mind's done it before.
It figures out that, okay, you're going to abuse it, but unless there's something really gone, unless you have something that's really weak. That's what's going to go. Whatever is weakest is what's going to cause you the problem.
And you're where I want to be. I'm 4 years into the trail. I did Boston, qualified for it a couple times, but never ran it. But so I'm 253. I had to get that out of my head though. But so
is that what
marathon?
That
was my best
time?
one.
253 was your best. Thanks. See, 338 and change.
And that's the 50-year-old one. I did that one in Fort Worth, 50 something.
Yeah.
But so I'm thinking right now, 3 years in, I said, Eric, so what I got to do is, and you haven't had injury. The only injuries I've had are the planned ones where I knew good and well at Lake Murray I should stop. It's 25 minutes. But the problem was I had a race before where it went beautiful, but they said, you must have. And I gave credit. I said, no. So I never cut it. They know me. So I said, at Lake Mary, I'm going to make sure. There's no doubt. And so I got lost. I went back and ran 10 more miles, came back. So I ended up doing 75 miles at Lake Murray for 100K. But I was like, no, there's no doubt. But I shouldn't have finished that last 5 because it put me out for almost a year. But then I should have because I feel like it made me dadgummit. So my injuries have all been planned. So I've been lucky to not have them. So I figured now, okay, Eric, you're 3 years. Now you can train right. So my question is this. There seems to me for people like you, there's a multi-year strength.
Oh, okay.
There's a body that you build over years.
Here's one difference too. In the last 3 years, I started doing more yoga and flexibility, and some strength. Not a lot of strength. Nothing heavy.
Right.
Done zero heavy. I started out pretty much body weight. I do a little bit of weights,
Like
heavy.
squats type stuff, or
Yeah, but I mean the workouts I'm doing they're not super hard.
But you're just
most of them
consistent with
aren't more than 20 minutes. 20 minutes is a 30-minute workout is a long workout for me. But 20 minutes, if I can get some strength in, and I have a coach, and I use some of the stuff that he gives me, but then I also use some stuff that I do, and then I've got this 5-minute daily routine of just basic movement that I do. But the yoga. It took me over a year of doing yoga before I could even get in some of the poses.
Thank you. I tried it. That's the hardest stuff I've ever done. Yoga.
And I didn't, and it wasn't until I took some yoga, went to the yoga class. I do the yoga class, the Trailhead Run, the Monday night. Yeah. And it wasn't until I did that I knew what I was supposed to be trying to stretch on some of them. Yeah. And after doing that, it's just like, okay, now then. But I just grabbed yoga stuff off of YouTube. Yeah. And most of those, I don't do more than 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah. Because I
do it specifically for runners. So everything I'm doing is specifically strength and training for run. But you need the upper body strength for these longer distances. I mean, that's as critical to me because I'm going to be doing a pack that hopefully is not going to be more than like 14 pounds.
Because you can get those shoulder pains
max loaded. But that's where I got the fatigue. Yeah. When I did the training run, I figured out that 40 miles is that's as far as I can go before I'm starting to get upper body fatigue really bad. So that's one thing. But if you add the strength in the yoga, that's going to help you because you're going to strengthen all the connecting tissues to all the stuff that you can injure. That's what your ankles, and for trails, your ankles, your knees, and your hips. Yeah. You want that flexibility there because you're
and plus all of us are kind of up there in age, you know. Yeah. I mean, I'm the youngest at almost 50, so
that's what I love about this. I'm 57. They're like, you're that old. I'm like, no, dog. It's the most competitive age range in. Like, if you go mass, it's those 50s. You're not touching these guys, man.
I'm 68, so this next year I'm 69. So I'm the oldest in my age group.
I like that age.
In the 10-year range. I want to stay 69. So next year I'm going to be the young guy in the 70 to 79 group. Yeah. So okay, I was like, look out, guys! Here comes the young. Here comes the young gun. Yeah. The young 70-year-old's coming.
So that's true. Usually we do about an hour. We're over an hour already today. We're an hour and 12 minutes. I do have one question for you, Steve. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Gosh, that one's a tough one.
I got multiple. Hey, give me three. Give me three.
Okay, I'll give you Pulp Fiction.
Hey, I love Pulp Fiction.
In there.
I love Tarantino stuff.
And Star Wars.
Oh yeah, the original.
Star Wars, the original. Yeah. I had my Star Wars shirt out, but fate had this was what it was in my bag, and I left. It wasn't a Star Wars, but I bought it last week. When I was on the Journey run, I came across a Millennium Falcon T-shirt. That's got the Millennium Falcon. I'll send a picture to you. But that was what I was going to wear. Star Wars fan. Star Wars, Pulp Fiction, and there's so many. Saving Private Ryan.
Hey, there you go. I like that. That's a great movie, Saving Private Ryan. Well, I do want to thank you, Steve, for coming out, and we're gonna have to do probably like 3 episodes or something, 4 episodes, because you got a lot of information, and you know what?
Write it down. Black Hills.
I want the public to hear it. Is the thing because I mean, there's a lot of growth there, you know, and people like Eric's first 100 miler, he has a lot of questions, you know. So and you got
It's
good
exciting.
answers, man. People that have done all this stuff, they got.
I call it's a high level of human trail knowledge.
Where you are on your 100, that's where I am with this 300 because I'm the rookie.
Yeah.
I'm the rookie at this. I mean, this is unknown to me. It's exactly the same thing, and I'm doing all this stuff. You've got all this information you're trying to put in your head.
Yeah.
You don't want to do too much. You don't want to do too little.
right.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, what gear do I take? What all of that? I mean, everything, the logistics of it. Am I going to have a pacer? Am I not going to have a pacer? All of those things.
I can't.
It's just the curiosity. I wonder what's the body. That's why I run. Really, it's curious. Like I'm out here. I even love when you get looped. I'm like, okay, I have nothing left. So what happens now? But and we say this on the heels of people now doing. The body is crazy capable. Yesterday, the guy ran 1:59:30 in London.
Oh, really?
That doesn't fit in anybody's head. I don't care how much you run. That doesn't fit. Second place, 1:59:41.
Holy moly!
Imagine somebody telling you you're going to run sub 2 hours and you get second.
He didn't walk.
Yeah.
No.
Nah, not walking at all. So I do want to thank you, Steve. Thank you for coming out, man.
It's been a lot
I wish I lived more central because that way studio would be more central and easier for people to get to. But I am out here, and you're familiar with McKinney, so come out here. Maybe we can do a run at Irwin and then have the podcast or something. You know, that would be fun.
But I'm gonna hit CRP because it's right in my back door.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good. But we are out. So.
That's good stuff, man.